All right, after doing this movie, when you think about Hotshots, what kind of attributes do you know they have?
Courage, a little craziness,
Yeah.
a lot of ribbing, a lot of fun.
Uh-huh.
Probably the most fun people I've ever hung out with in my life. Selflessness, ultimately. Battered. There's a lot of adjectives I can go through. I mean, all the things that I appreciate.
Yeah.
There's nothing that I don't, everybody has their own distinctive personality that you get along with better or not. But firefighters as a community is probably my favorite community.
You know, obviously when you sign up for this kind of movie, I would imagine that you want to portray these characters accurately and make the families proud.
Yeah.
So what kind of pressure did you put on yourself to make sure that you did
You don't
that?
think about it. The pressure is immediate.
Yeah.
So and I like that pressure because, when the stakes are up, it's like, I like that.
Yeah.
It makes me work
Bring it
harder.
on.
It's this kind of, it's the same mentality. It's like, if you're in a situation where you're representing somebody, if I'm doing W, or if I'm doing Dan White and all that, there are families involved,
Yeah.
So you look for the humanity and everything, and then you try to be as accurate as possible. But I told the families, I said, there's no way that I'm going to be able to portray your son or your husband in a way that is perfect.
Right.
But hopefully it will be in the spirit of who these people were, and it will tell the story that needs to be told, which is how courageous and amazing these people are.
Any conversations you had with them that really moved you and kind of put you in the right place for this film?
Well, I mean, moved me. Yeah, everything moved me.
Yeah.
I've shut myself down to do these interviews just because I've been moved like constantly for the last year and a half and prepping for this and doing for this. I mean, the boys will tell you that every time I gave a speech or whatever, not on film, off film, that it was always an emotional speech because I don't know, I have a very personal relationship with this, a 30-year-long relationship with firefighters and all the people that I've known and the people that have lost their lives and the families that have been left behind, the families that are involved now, everything. Mm-hmm. It's very personal for me, so to be able to put, and there hasn't been a lot of fire movies, so to put a movie out there that first responders and families are going, yes. Mm-hmm. Like, I couldn't be happier. I couldn't feel more proud of these guys who let all that ego shit go away and showed up and did what needed to be done.
And I do like that, people who may have heard about the story, this is kind of grasping behind the headlines. We're getting to know these guys a little bit better through you guys.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It's a celebration of who these guys are, I mean, the tragedy that happened is something, it doesn't define them.
Right.
It doesn't create their heroism. The heroism is who they are and what they do day in and day out in order for your safety to be complete. And they're constantly putting themselves in harm's way. But then when you see, I mean, look, man, we're talking about all the seriousness of it, but like these guys are fun. The women are fun. The women are like the guys, and the guys are like, I mean, they become it's a genderless thing, even though I respect the separate genders. It becomes a community that all I want to do is hang out with them all the time. I would much rather hang out with them than hang out with anybody else.
I bet they would love it too.
Yeah, they're fun. They're fun.
Awesome, thank you so much.